When it comes to fighting games, there's always those few characters that aren't played as much as the others. Whether it be because of the character's design, moveset, lore, personality, or presentation, for one reason or another, they seem to be neglected by the fans. But why is that? Today I'll be looking into a specific character to come to a conclusion for why said character is unpopular and forgotten about. And that character I'll be looking into today is the soul-consuming darkness known as Necalli. From being hyped up to be a terrifying monstrous entity who was able to consume the souls of the world's most powerful warriors, to being remembered as a disappointing case of failed potential. Necalli would make his first appearance in Street Fighter V as one of the original 16 base roster characters and one of the 4 debuting characters new to the franchise. Necalli's design is a stocky 6'3" Aztec-like conceptual being. He has yellow eyes and scratches all over his face and body. He sports a white kilt that is complemented with gold and brown accents. He ties this all together with a brown belt and brown toe-open boots. Now Necalli's gameplay and fighting style is what you would call a bruiser, or a weight bully as we MMA fans like to say. He uses brute force and his sheer size to put the pressure and subdue his opponents to eventually consume them to satiate his bloodlust for powerful warriors. A fact about Necalli that is worth noting is he has no skeletal structure like Q did in Third Strike. When shocked, only a black silhouette of Necalli's body is visible. Most curious, when Necalli activates his V-trigger, his hair stands up and glows a very bright red. The scars on his face is also glow red when he attacks. Kinda goes into a Super Saiyan-like state. Necalli was presented as the soul-consuming darkness, a being who was brought to Earth by unknown gods who gave him the task of consuming souls and delivering them to the gods for the hour of battle, as they say. The Udon Street Fighter comics would give us more insight into Necalli, stating he is a conceptual being, meaning he will always exist as long as one condition in the universe is met. That condition is conflict. So basically what this means is Necalli is practically immortal. Though he goes into a deep sleep when the world is at peace, as soon as the world goes into crisis due to conflict, Necalli is sure to awaken to devour. Now initial reactions to Necalli were, granted, very positive. Necalli's design to me is the best out of all the Street Fighter V newcomers, including the future ones as well. Close one between him, Laura, and Manat, but I digress. High expectations were immediately put on Necalli, some even hailing him as the next Akuma. Now, those are some massive shoes to fill, but some could say it was warranted. Necalli was presented as this demonic-like being whose purpose was to devour the souls of our favorite Street Fighter characters. This almost made it seem like for once, some of our beloved fighters were destined to be killed off. And boy oh boy was I mistaken. Now I feel like this is the most appropriate time to segue into the story mode of Necalli's character, due to it being what caused him to plummet into obscurity. Now as mentioned before, Necalli's purpose as a character was to consume the souls of the world's most powerful warriors, right? But you see there's a problem with that, and it's a big one. He didn't even do that. Starting with Necalli Street Fighter V story mode, it begins with a possible glimpse into the future of an ancient warrior prophet foreseeing the future. He sees the arrival of Necalli and watches him go through some of the world's most powerful warriors, consuming every single one of their souls one by one. As he watched Ryu, Dhalsim, and M. Bison be no match for Necalli, he is met with the monster himself. However, this is no vision. The two fight, but the warrior prophet is no match for this beast and is consumed by him, which is bittersweet because the warrior prophet went out knowing he was powerful enough to be seeked out by Necalli. And with that, the prophet's vision commences. We see Necalli eyeing Ryu and Dhalsim next, just as the prophecy foretold. Now this segues into the events of Street Fighter V's DLC story mode, A Shadow Falls, and this is where it goes downhill for Necalli. He sizes up Ryu and Dhalsim and commences combat with Ryu. Necalli gets the better of Ryu, but is soon met with an even greater power than a base Ryu. A Satsui no Hado possessed Ryu. As both men are ready to start round 2, Dhalsim intervenes for Ryu's sake, telling him the path to Hado is not one he wants to go down. Dhalsim takes on Necalli himself, besting him. Necalli realizes he is outmatched, flees the scene, which will later become a common thing he does. It was at this time Necalli was revealed to be awakened by the events of the Black Moons because, as said earlier, when conflict is in the world, Necalli awakens. Next we see Necalli go after his third victim that was told in the prophecy, that person being M. Bison. And just like Ryu and Dhalsim, the prophecy fails to live up to expectations, being defeated by Bison with the help of Fang. And once again, Necalli, seeing that he's outmatched, tucks his tail between his legs and flees like a frail dog. He takes on a bit of a side quest and attempts to consume Charlie Nash, but even with that he was unsuccessful. Necalli would make his last stand against someone he's already beaten before. Ryu, who has just finished his special training. The two take part in a very anticlimactic fight as Ryu casually slides out of the way of Necalli's disc guidance strike and charges up his power. Necalli, who is visibly shook by Ryu's quick instincts, tries to get a cheap shot in while Ryu isn't looking, but is met with a powerful left hand, putting him down for the count. Necalli can't get up and disintegrates into dust, going back into hibernation as he was unsuccessful at devouring any souls at all. And that is where his lore comes to an end, ladies and gentlemen. Now what in the actual fuck was this? Necalli literally got bullied back into hibernation. Now that is just foul by Capcom. Necalli was painted out to be this soul-consuming entity that practically confirmed that one fighter was gonna have to go. But no, that didn't happen at all. In fact, yeah, it did happen. Necalli was the one who had to go. And quite frankly, I don't think we'll ever be seeing Necalli again, not after this shitstorm. Now let's go back to what the warrior prophet was saying. He foretold a prophecy of a soul-consuming darkness that would take out some of the world's most strongest warriors. Now that vision was not about fucking Necalli. Necalli gets shitted on by every single fighter in the vision of the warrior prophet. I mean, he did beat Ryu in the beginning, but he gets absolutely smited at the end by him. And I'd also like to mention the fact that Necalli kept fleeing. That doesn't seem like something his character would or should do. It really seems like it took away from the character's scary image he had going for himself. The only reasoning I can think of Capcom doing this is because they didn't want to lose one of their precious fighters, which I can understand. Ryu, Dhalsim, and Bison are big staples in the Street Fighter franchise. But that opposes the question, why even make Necalli at all? Why make this character if you're not prepared to kill off some of your other characters, Capcom? It's like they accidentally made this awesome character, then backtracked when it came time to story write because they saw how hard it was, so they decided just to abandon Necalli on the side of the road. Whatever the case may be, I can certainly say Capcom really dropped the ball with this one. Necalli's potential was up there with the clouds. Like, he actually had the potential to be one of the best villains, or scariest villains in Capcom history, I'd say. Now to conclude, my verdict for why do I think Necalli is often forgotten about, I would have to say it is his poor presentation, which really sucks. Necalli had the potential to be something great in the Street Fighter franchise, like he really did. Capcom just said no. Necalli's never been a bad character either for online. He's been on the higher or okay place on the spectrum for when it came to ranking the characters in tier lists. People were just turned off by his presentation in Shadow Falls. Like, personally, I was a big fan of Necalli when playing his character's story. Seeing him consume Ryu, Dhalsim, and Bison was scary, but yet so cool at the same time. He looked to be a force to be reckoned with, but while playing Shadow Falls, I can only see him as a schmuck. He got shitted on the whole way through. He even took L's in other character story modes like Balrog and Akuma. Like, if I saw the way Necalli was presented in his story mode, it was a done deal. I was going to play this character. I'm going to try to main him. But if I saw the way he was presented in Shadow Falls, I'm not going to play him. I'm sorry, I just can't. I don't play pussies. For my thesis statement, why do I think Necalli is often forgotten about? I would have to say it's poor presentation. Just a very disappointing case of wasted potential. With that being said, feel free to let me know your thoughts on Necalli in the comment section below. And I also want to address the change in this whole Remember series style. It's very inconsistent, I know. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I started with Falk, and I've been trying to find a way where it's not too long and drawn out and boring, but also entertaining at the same time. I feel like my story mode segments get really dry. I tried to incorporate some more of my thoughts into this one story mode segment. But I really feel like this is going to be the style I'm going to be moving forward with. But if you guys think otherwise, if you guys like the way I did the other ones better, let me know. Also, thank you all for 600 subscribers. I hit 600 like 2 days ago, but the Woke Fighter 6 video I posted a couple days ago. The first day didn't get that many views, pretty average views. Second day, pretty average views again. But the third day, for whatever reason, it just got 2K views. And then I also posted a short that day that got 1K view. So that accumulated the 50 subscribers, which is unheard of for me. Usually I get like 10 subs a day, but 50? Now that is wild. I want to thank every single 51 of you, and not just that, every single 600 of you. It's been doing this for a while now, and I'm trying to get to 1K. That was the goal from the start, and to be honest, I wasn't sure if I was even going to do it, but now as I'm getting closer and closer to that number, it's starting to look more achievable. It's actually going to become a reality, and I find that very fascinating. But I don't want to ramble on too much. It's been the Masked Assailant, and I hope to catch you all in the next one.
devour.